Good morning and welcome to another edition of Tales from the Barn. And welcome back. Yeah, it's been a day or two. And I thought I'd get this story in this morning just before I go off to church. So, yeah, let's crack on with it. So, the story is, this is going back to late 90s. And I was working in Sussex, West Sussex, on a farm estate for the Duke of Norfolk. 12,000 acre estate, which is quite a size. And we used to have some fun and games on there. It was a really good place to work. Now, married to one of the daughters of the Duke of Norfolk was the late, great Sir Colin Cowdray, the famous cricketer. Now, Colin Cowdray was quite a legend in his day, probably like you could put him at the same scale as modern day Premier footballer. So, yeah, you can imagine what it was like back then. He had a style and elegance to him that everybody used to admire. And he was one of the first to celebrate, I believe, might get this right or wrong, celebrate his 100th test match in Australia with a score of 104. So he was one of the first to do that. That was back in 1968, something like that. But anyway, Sir Colin was a very respected and a fantastic guy to talk to. He always had a story to tell. Wonder who that reminds me of. And so he was a great guy. Always used to try and have a laugh or a joke. Now, one of my tasks, I was looking after the maintenance of the estate on the vehicles and machinery, and occasionally I'd get a call from Sir Colin if he was driving across. Now, if you can imagine 12,000 acres across the South Downs, you never had to go on a road. You could drive all the way from, say, Worthing, back to Arundel and to Chichester, all round the Downs without actually going on the main road. So we used to sort of rely on a fleet of off-road vehicles. Sir Colin had a little Subaru at the time. And the first time I got to meet him out, he phoned me up one day because I was on call, and he said, Paul, I've got a problem with the car. It seemed to have hit a stone or something or other underneath, and there was a problem. So I went out to it and I was working on it. Now, Sir Colin used to go round to the back of the car, his car, he'd open it up, and he always used to carry a bat and ball in the back. And I remember sort of repairing the car under the bonnet, and I thought, well, what's he tinkering about with? He was getting these sticks out. Anyway, on the ground, on the verge where we were parked, he puts out these sticks like wickets. And when I'd done the car and I'd closed the bonnet, I said, there you go, Sir Colin, thank you. Right. He said, before you go, and he gets his boy, he said, off up to the wicket. And I had to play this fictitious game of cricket with him. And I remember him sort of steadily bowling, and I sort of hit the ball back to him, and, you know, everything was quite gentle. And I thought, wow, I'm actually playing cricket with one of England's top cricketers here, who was, you know, best known for how he was. And anyway, he didn't let me get too many hits in, because he bowled one over and it went straight through. I mean, there was no way I could have got it. But what did come of it, now, sometime later, he called me again, and there was a problem with the car, and I went and fixed it. Now, when getting back into my pickup, he said, oh no, let's just have a quick hit. And I said, no, Sir Colin, it's your turn. So I put him in to bat. Now, whether it was a fluke, whether he let me win, I don't know. But I remember bowling one over, and He went to hit it and it went straight through and it hit his wicket clean out. Now, surely I can be known as one of the people who have bowled out Sir Colin Cowdray. So that's my story for the day. Sir Colin Cowdray, OBE. I think he became Minister for Sport, I believe, in the late 90s. All-round great guy, no longer here, but remembered by a lot of people, I'm pretty sure. But that's the story for the day. Love to you all, and hope you're all keeping safe, and we will soon be out there coming to get ya. Bye for now.